Once you do what Hashem said, then you'll feel the good from it. The good is not only Olam Haba, that very few people have an understanding of what it's like in this generation. Because when you tell people, what is Olam Haba? Olam Haba is a bunch of tzaddikim learning Torah. You tell this to the average 25-year-old, 35-year-old that doesn't really learn Torah. Tell them, listen, yeah, Olam Haba, yeah. Rabbi Akiva, all the 2,000 members of the Tosfot, all the tzaddikim, Moshe Rabbeinu, Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, all of them are learning Torah, and you can go there. It's like, sounds boring. I don't learn Torah over here. You want me to learn Torah for eternity? No, give me some pool tables, some pools, some bowling maybe, some movies. That's what people want, because they think that that's fun. So, Olam Haba is very, very hard for people to connect to. Even though technically that's the only reason, the Mishnah in Avot says that's the only reason why you should do a mitzvah, for Olam Haba. But since we don't have a concept of what Olam Haba is early on in our tshuva, we have to feel something here. People need to see something. Right before the lecture, we were talking a little bit about how we're such a demanding generation where literally we need things on demand. You want to press a button, something has to happen. You go to a website, if it takes 30 seconds to load, I'm out. I'm out. In fact, recent statistics that I read said that if it takes more than 3.5 seconds to load, if the website takes more than 3.5 seconds to load, most people, meaning over 90% of people, leave the website. 3.5 seconds. When I was a kid, in the days of Antiochus, we had something called dial-up. Dial-up meant that you wanted to go to some place, if whatever was actually available in those days, there was barely anything actually available. You had Prodigy, AOL, and whatever was AOL was offering. You went to the website, and all you had is to enjoy the that's the noise that your modem made for a good 2 to 3 minutes, until you finally arrived at whatever destination you wanted. And God forbid it's the wrong destination. Now you have to go to a different one. But you had to enjoy the music of this modem. What kind of music it made for you? Back then it was normal. 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes between web pages, between pages within the page. It's normal. Today, if you're not giving me a response right now within 3 seconds, I'm out of here. We order food. The companies say, listen, delivery within 25 minutes. At 26.5 minutes, we're already on the phone. Hey, what's going on? I ordered. You guys said 25 minutes. It's late. I can't believe it. I'm paying top dollar here. You call the guy and you start yelling at him like he's one of your slaves. Like you're Paro and he's one of the Jews over there. He's scared. Why? He's late 1.5 minutes. God forbid he's late 20 minutes because he hit traffic or something happened. It happens. We're all criminals when it comes to this. Why? Because we've all become accustomed to push and something happens. On demand, they call it. We want something, exactly like you said, instant gratification. Instant gratification is, unfortunately, one of the landmines of the Satan when it comes to Bitachon. And the reason why is because Bitachon is the exact opposite. Works the exact opposite. Bitachon doesn't work based on instant gratification. Bitachon works based on how much patience you have. Because that's how Hashem measures your actual bitachon. If you expect things to happen instantly, like a website, like a text message, like an email, you expect things to happen that way, and you think that Hashem is going to dance to every one of your tunes, guess what? You will live a life of misery, anxiety, and you will never have an ounce of bitachon. Because bitachon doesn't work that way. To get bitachon, you have to get one of the most valuable traits there is for mankind, which is called patience. Without patience, you're not going to survive. Meaning, you'll survive as a life, but your life is going to be full of suffering. From morning to night, you'll be suffering. Because nothing in the world will work based on the schedule that you want it to. Nothing in the world will work on a schedule that it should, according to your understanding. According to our understanding. Everyone is stupid. Everyone is slow. Everyone is this. Everyone is deficient. That's the way it is. Why? Because you have some visual in your mind, some type of idea in your mind that no one can live up to. So unless you understand that Hashem is the one that's causing him to be slow, him to steal, him to run away, him to hang up on you, her to curse you, Hashem is the one that's managing all of this. You're not going to be able to survive as a righteous person. Now, this seems more like Hashem is taking away our free will. So briefly, we're going to go into details of all of this, but to simply answer the question, no, Hashem never takes away free will. The way it simply works, in a very, very simplistic way, is that Hashem makes a decree, whatever the decree is. On Rosh Hashanah, he decides something is going to happen. A certain person is going to make a lot of money, lose a lot of money. He decides, whatever the case is. After he decides and passes the stamp on a decree, signs off on a decree, then he decides which things, which people, which creations are going to contribute into implementing this decree. So, for example, if it's, let's say, lose money. Now the guy thinks, lose money, that most likely means I'm going to get fired. No, not necessarily. In fact, it could be the opposite. In fact, the guy could get hired by a better firm, get a 500% raise, and he thinks, Shtabach Shemo, Hashem loves me. I was a tzaddik last year because second day after Yom Kippur, I got a job offer, 500% raise from Google. So the guy is happy, he walks into Google, he's excited, he has a $500,000 salary waiting for him. All he's got to do is show up. He thinks, Shtabach Shemo, what a blessing. In reality, this year was decreed to be the opposite, for him to lose a $500,000. Why? Whatever he did, Hashem decided. But how is it going to happen? Hashem will decide throughout the whole year of how this is going to happen, where he could make a $500,000 to the job, but lose $1 million to his investments. Net, yes, he made a $500,000 on a job, but he lost $1 million on investments. Or vice versa. The point is that now Hashem decided to implement, but how is he going to implement the small details? Okay, so one broker that was the best broker in the world for 10 years, all of a sudden became the worst. So instead of making him $1 million, he lost him $1 million. Or perhaps one deal that was going great for 3, 4, 5 years with some partnership, all of a sudden the guy that he was partners with went crazy and decided to run away with some money. Another 100, he contributed 100,000. He contributed 500. Everybody contributed a certain amount of the loss. So why does Hashem pick those people? Because those people chose to do what they're doing. Meaning, there's a decree on them, but they chose to do something bad. So for example, if somebody stole from him, out of the $1 million, somebody stole 200,000, the guy that stole the 200,000, Hashem didn't tell him you have to steal. The guy that stole, he decided to steal 200,000. And Hashem says, okay, since you're going to steal, you decide to steal 200,000, steal from him. Steal from him. Why? Because out of all the people you want to steal from, they don't deserve it. Only he deserves it. So steal from him at 200,000. Meaning that Hashem's decree was already written on Rosh Hashanah. How he's going to implement is going to be based on our decisions. So this is the simplistic way of answering an elephant in the room that a lot of people have in regards to free choice and so on, because it has a lot to do with Bitachon and how Bitachon really works.